Welcome back to HAC's monthly commentary. Today we're going to take a look at what happened in the markets in the month of August. We'll also take a look at some of the changes that HAC made in its portfolio. And we'll take a look at what we can expect in the month of September. Let's dive in. All right, let's take a look at some of the changes that HAC made in its portfolio last month. It initiated a position in natural gas late in August. Typically, natural gas does well from early September into mid-December. This is largely due to the heating season that comes up later on in the wintertime. HAC took an initial position early because the technicals were improving for natural gas. HAC also took a position in home builders, a short sell position, which typically performs poorly at this time of the year. And also HAC took a short sell position in the technology sector, which tends to perform poorly in September. Recently, the technology sector has been showing signs of weakening relative to the S&P 500. Last month, HAC exited its biotech position, which finishes a strong seasonal period mid-September. It also exited its short sell position in the small cap sector. It also increased its position in US government bonds, which have been performing well and were positive in the month of August. HAC also reduced its position in the Canadian stock market. So what should we expect in the markets in the month of September? Well, unfortunately, on a seasonal basis, September tends to be one of the weaker months of the year. In fact, over the long term, on average since 1990, it's been the weakest month of the year for the S&P 500. Now, that doesn't mean the market's necessarily going to go down, but it's something to watch out for. We also see some other developments taking place this month. On September the 17th, we're seeing the Federal Reserve have its next interest rate meeting. And there's been a lot of political talk and political pressure on the Federal Reserve to cut rates. Right now, the probabilities from the markets are that the Federal Reserve will cut rates. But it doesn't necessarily mean the market's going to take off just because they cut rates. Canada also has a similar situation where the Bank of Canada is making an interest rate decision on this exactly the same day. It's expected that the Bank of Canada will also cut its key overnight rate. And once again, that doesn't necessarily mean the market's going to take off just because they've cut rates. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'd love to know your comments on the markets. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.